Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here today with a Friday Reads video. You may have noticed I haven't been around for the last 2 weeks. I'm back a little bit. I've had COVID, and COVID on top of the chronic illness I have, which is an immune disorder, is really bad news. COVID is a very strong trigger for this immune disorder. What I have, the underlying illness I have is called ME/CFS. It is an immune disorder, and it is very often triggered to start by some sort of infection. With most infections, about 10% of the people who are infected go on to develop ME/CFS, which there's no cure for. And so that's things like mono, Lyme disease, parvovirus. There's all kinds of, like a dozen different infections that have been identified as triggers. COVID, however, turns into ME/CFS in more like 25 to 30% of people. It's stunning. So before COVID, 2019, there were an estimated 2.2 million of us in the US living with ME/CFS. The estimates now are somewhere over 15 million. COVID has just blown up this disease, not in a good way. So since COVID can trigger ME/CFS to start, if you already have ME/CFS, COVID can make you much, much worse. So I had COVID once before in January 2022. Got it from my father-in-law's nursing home at the time. They had a big breakout the week that he moved in there. I got it, my father-in-law got it, our son got it. The only one who escaped was my husband. He still has never had COVID. He's got an amazing immune system. And when I had it 2 years ago, I was extremely sick for a month with acute symptoms, and then didn't get back to what I consider my normal, my baseline, for another 6 months. So I am really hoping that's not going to be the case this time. I was able to get Paxlovid, the antiviral, which was only starting to be available last time I was sick and I couldn't get it. So far, so good. Like I said, last time I was extremely sick for a month. Here I am 2 weeks in, and my energy is still very, very, very limited. But I'm trying this, sitting up for 15 minutes or so. I've been taking teeny tiny, super slow walks just in front of our house. I'm starting very slowly to come back. So looking forward to that. Hopefully it won't be a 6-month recovery time this time. So enough about illness for this video. If you do normally watch my chronic illness videos and you're interested in that side of things, I have been making a chronic illness vlog this week. I was too sick last week to even attempt that. So lots of lying down videos, but there's a lot more information in the vlog, which I'll be posting next week, probably Tuesday. So hopefully I've got the energy to edit videos now too, which I haven't had. So what have I been reading? Well, I have to tell you, Big Book Summer has just been the saving grace these last 2 weeks, and especially this book, my biggest book of the summer at 870 pages, Drums of Autumn by Diana Gabaldon. Oh, I love this series. This is book 4 in the Outlander series. The funny thing is, in between, I kind of forget how amazing these books are. But when I get into one of them, I just want to immerse myself in that world and never leave. And so, of course, that is an ideal kind of book for when you're really, really sick. Last week especially, this variant that's rising right now apparently comes with a very severe sore throat, which I had. And there was about a week where, I'm not going to hold this up, it's too heavy. It was about a week where I was just in so much pain and so exhausted and so wiped out. I could do nothing but lie flat on the couch or in bed. And yeah, this book has been saving me. I love it. I love Jamie and Claire and all the other characters. So this is book 4 in the Outlander series. I won't spoil anything, but we'll just let you know that this one takes place here in America, which I'm really loving. Much of it takes place in Western North Carolina in what we now call the Smoky Mountains. My husband and I have been there several times. Love it there. It is an area filled with so much natural beauty, and that natural beauty is a big part of this book. So immersive is the right word. I've just been loving spending my time in this world, in this beautiful place. The focus really is very much on nature here. Jamie and Clara are like homesteading. It begins in 1767. So you know what's coming in 9 years. And yeah, and I just, a few days ago, I'm pretty far into it now. A few days ago, I got to a part where the time travel element becomes much more prominent, where things happen and discoveries are made. And if you've watched my channel before, you know I love time travel. So loving, loving, loving this, all aspects of it, the setting, the characters, the plot twists. It has just saved me this last couple of weeks. I am on page 620, so can't wait to read more and see what happens next. Last year when I read book 3, Voyager, I said that was my favorite of the series. Ooh, this one's giving it a run for its money. This might be my new favorite. I should have mentioned at the beginning, my voice might still be pretty hoarse. It's a lot better than it was. But yeah, still coming back. The sore throat, and I've had a mild cough that's still there too. So yeah, that's kind of done a number on my voice. But on audio, I have not really been listening to an audio while I've been sick. At the beginning, I was still listening to Hereafter by Tara Hudson, which is basically a YA ghost story. I really enjoy ghost stories. It worked for Big Book Summer. It was just over 400 pages in the print edition. But it would have worked for the fall too when I listened to more creepy, dark stuff. It's about an 18-year-old girl named Amelia who is dead. She's technically, I guess, a ghost. At the beginning of the story, she has what she calls nightmares, though obviously she doesn't sleep, where she relives her death by drowning. So she's in this river in the middle of town. She's just been through one of these episodes, which is always terrifying to her. And she's kind of coming back, I was going to say to consciousness. There is no consciousness. She's a ghost, but she is conscious, actually. And she sees a car falling through the water with its headlights on right in front of her in the river. And she sees the figure of a boy who looks about her age, a young man, also falling with the car. So even though the whole time she's been dead, and she doesn't know how long that's been, she has not been able to communicate with or affect any living human being. She wants to save this boy, and she does end up saving him somehow. And he goes back up to the surface. She kind of follows him. He's pulled out of the water. The EMTs have him on a stretcher. They're putting him into the ambulance. And she goes over to make sure he's okay, leans over the stretcher, and he can see her. Now, the whole time she's been dead, no living human has been able to see her. So this is like amazing to her. And all that he knows is that she saved his life. So the two of them are drawn to each other. He comes back to the river to look for her. And and the story goes from there. Now, it is YA, so there's a bit of a love story here between the two main characters, even though she's dead. But also there's a mystery. How did she die? Which she has wanted to know for a long time, beyond the obvious drowning. She wants to know how she ended up in the river. And behind it all, there is like an epic good versus evil battle. This is the first of a trilogy, I think. I think there's 3 books in total. This one is from like maybe 2018, so the others may be out by now. I really enjoyed it. I do like a ghost story. And I haven't started a new audio, mainly just because I didn't have the energy to download something. I know, pretty awful, but I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, including Kate Bowler and the Everything Happens podcast. I've been listening to old favorite episodes and some of the newer ones I had missed. She's fabulous. If you deal with any kind of chronic medical condition or anything, the title of the podcast says it all. Everything happens. And in the logo, she's got "for a reason" crossed out, which I love. So she's just amazing. What she's been through is amazing. And the guests she talks to are just incredible. So I've found that both very soothing and inspiring while I've been very sick. I did intend to start a new audiobook, but I've been waiting. I had requested some from a publisher that I work with, Macmillan. I've worked with them for decades, and I wasn't hearing back from my contact. Well, it turns out she was sick as well, so she's just back in the office. So I'm hoping. So I'm not starting anything new because I am hoping that there's a bunch of new ones coming from her, including what might be my next big book summer pick. We'll see. So that's what I'm reading right now. I would love to hear what you're reading. I've been out of the loop. I have really missed bookish conversations, and I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments down below what you've been reading.